What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. This video is entitled Stop Rewarding Dysfunction. Stop Rewarding Potential and Dysfunction. Life isn't fair. I'll say that. And people believe in certain people. And sometimes people believe in certain people to the detriment of other people. And what ends up happening is you wind up enabling somebody because you believe in them. So you support this person wholeheartedly because they have potential. And you're rewarding this person because of their potential. And their potential is unrealized success, right? And you put this person in positions to win. But in essence, you're not rewarding their actual ability or their actual production. You're rewarding the production you would see. You're rewarding the production that you hope to see out of them. And that's a problem. Because what you're doing is you're crippling them from actually producing. Because you're rewarding their potential. Oh, they're going to be great one day. But they never really get to show and prove because they don't deal with adversity. And when you're dealing with people who don't deal with adversity, you don't know how they'll react to adversity. You know, you give people an infinite amount of confidence because you believe in them and you believe in their potential, and you've seen their potential in other people, that the potential that they may have in other people who are successful. So in some ways, you're hedging your bet with this particular person. But that doesn't mean that they're good. Or that doesn't mean that people around them are better than them. And that becomes the problem. Because now there are people who are actually realize potential, but you don't believe in them. Sometimes when you think somebody has great potential, you're waiting for them to maximize their potential and actually something real. And then you might look at other people and you might look at them like they are maximized. This is the best that they're going to ever get. This is the best they're going to ever be. But the person that you reward that has potential has a high ceiling. And that high ceiling can sabotage you. Because them potentially being great might be their ceiling actually. They may be maxed out at just potentially being great. The greatness that you see in them, they may not see in themselves, or it may not actually be in them. You're just fishing for greatness. So you got to stop rewarding potential, because potential doesn't produce for you. You reward what produces. You get what I'm saying? You reward you if you had a farm, you wouldn't water the plants that could potentially grow before you water the plants that actually grow. And that's what happens when you reward potential. You wind up, you actually starve your own crops because you gave what was actually bearing fruit the least amount of nutrients. and you gave what doesn't bear fruit the most, like in hopes this is going to solve it all. And normally that's a losing bet. Now you got to also start rewarding dysfunctional behavior. Me and my aunt were talking about this weekend, and she saw something on television that disturbed her. And I was like, well, you got to understand, this particular person actually thinks that their personality is great because it's made them a bunch of money. And what they don't realize is, excuse me, they've been rewarded to fulfill a negative stereotype, but they're too stupid to realize it. And I was like, well, it's kind of like a kid who you give money, toys, or candy to shut them up. They actually think they're going to start to believe that their tantrums they can commoditize their tantrums. So if I do this, or this, I'm going to get something. And what winds up happening is you wind up rewarding their bad behavior because you're just tired of dealing with their shenanigans. But this comes at a price, because when you reward dysfunction, you take food off of the table of people who are functional. You take the efforts that functional people, the efforts that functional people have put out into the world, and you rob them of their harvest, of reaping what they sowed when they did the right thing, because you got so tired of hearing this dysfunctional person that you just caved. That's it. I'm done. I don't want to talk about it no more. Blah, blah, blah. I'm through. It's over with. Just take this. And sometimes, people say squeaky wheel gets the grease. But, some of these wheels out here just squeaking on purpose. Just because they're greedy. And you're rewarding that knowingly. Some of you people, have children. My child is spoiled. I don't know how they got this spoiled. You rewarded their bad behavior. I don't know why, you got adults out here doing things that they have no business doing. And people were like, I don't know why they're held to be around, because they were raised to get rewarded for their tantrums, and now they're adults having tantrums in the real world, and other people have to deal with these entitled children, and that sucks. That sucks. So you got to start rewarding dysfunction. Also, sometimes people reward dysfunction by covering for it. If somebody, you have this reasoning, this illogical reasoning that if I can sweep this dysfunction under the rug this one time, it'll go away. They'll stop, and you wind up with a habit of sweeping things under the rug over and over and over again, and that's rewarding that bad behavior because it never gets addressed. The behavior never gets addressed, thus it never gets fixed. So now what? They get to act, they go out in public, with their dysfunction, and they bring their dysfunction everywhere with them. And they're going to wind up meeting somebody or running into somebody who's not going to, they're not going to be playing with them. But it's going to be an issue because they're not going to understand that there's no reward for their dysfunction out in the real world. There's only going to be consequences. And this is why you have to stop rewarding dysfunction. Because the real world will have consequences for that dysfunction. And a lot of people and a lot of parents raise their kids to hit a certain age so, you know, the world could bust their ass. You know, they'll be there to say, I'm sorry, but, you know, they rewarded your dysfunction so much that when the world busts your ass, it's mentally crippling. So this is why you got to stop doing that, because people who do this, you know, it's bad for the people in the world, and it's bad for the person who thinks that their behavior is normal and doesn't deserve a response. So ultimately, it's a lose-lose situation. It's just bad. So now I'm done with this one. Y'all have a good day. Peace.